May the words of my mouth and the meditations of all our hearts be acceptable in your sight, O Lord, our rock and our Redeemer. Please be seated. I think Mark is my favorite gospel. And there are a whole bunch of reasons for that. One is that everybody in it, other than Jesus, seems to be so dense. They never get anything, no matter how well it's explained. And sometimes I feel like that. Often I feel like that. But probably the main reason that I love Mark has to do with its beginning and its end. Or maybe I should say its end and its beginning. We just read today this last line. And all that had been commanded them they told briefly to those around Peter. And afterward Jesus himself sent out through them from east to west the sacred and imperishable proclamation of eternal salvation. Then I will read for you the very beginning of Mark. The beginning of the good news of Jesus Christ, the Son of God. It directly follows the end of Mark. Mark is the only gospel that does this. It's in a circle. The other gospels all have some stories about what happened after the resurrection. Mark doesn't do that. It sends us back to the beginning. This is something that made some people very early in the life of the church so uncomfortable that they wrote a whole new ending to Mark so that it fit more with the other Gospels. But I think that really doesn't do the Gospel service, and it doesn't do the resurrection service. This whole idea that as soon as the resurrection happens, the story starts over is very important, and it fits really well with all that I've been talking about through Lent and through Holy Week. About embracing death to find life. In the Gospel of Mark, when Jesus rises again, it's not to go on and be with us just spiritually, or be our guide only through the words that are remembered. When Jesus is risen from the dead, the story starts again. God is with us in human form all over again. And the story continues. In our lives, every time something comes to an end, it is painful. It's hard to let go. But when we do, there's something after, something new, something different. That's what this whole gospel is calling us to do, is to embrace that cycle. Not to try to hold on to those things which are no longer serving their purpose. Whether it's in our own lives or in the life of the community, in the life of the church. To let go of those things which have run their course, and to let the resurrection happen, to let the new light come into the world. Let the new fire which we lit last night, and which lit this candle last night, set us aflame, give us new purpose, give us hope, and let us rest in that knowledge that not only is Jesus with us in spirit, but Jesus is here in the world in human form. However we want to understand that. Jesus is not just floating around out there as spirit, but is with us. God with us, Emmanuel. And there will come a time when that comes to an end, where we go through a dark place. And once we pass through that dark place, there will be resurrection. There will be new hope. There will be new life again and again. God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. Straight from John, not from Mark. But into the world. Not into the world for 34 years, but into the world for all of eternity. We lose that when we change that ending and make Mark sound like all of the other Gospels. Where we let go of that cycle. And I think Mark is really important to us by holding on to that. God's love was not just once to make that sacrifice for us, but that sacrifice was made for all time. It doesn't end. It continues. It's in our lives. Not just 2,000 years ago, but today and every day. That God loves us so much that he's willing to walk as one of us, willing to die as one of us, and show us that beyond the death of those things that we love, there is hope, there is life, there is future. It may not look the same. In fact, it won't look the same. But it's there for us to find. It's there for Christ to show us the way. That light, which I sent the children out with, is in each and every one of us. And if we let it shine, what we see that's going on is greater than we can ask or imagine. Thanks be to God.